I must remind you, it is on private property.
There you are. Hi there. I will bring up your little PowerPoint as well. There you are. And I think I did bring up your PowerPoint already. Yes, I did. So I will share that. And you can just tell me when to.
Okay, go. Yeah.
From beginning.
This was on Good Friday. I decided that I'd go on my 5K walk to see if I could get a photograph of the pillbox that we talked about back a couple of weeks back.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just go on to the next one, please, Stephen.
Yeah.
This was my journey towards the pillbox, and this is Knockvicker Bridge, which is it has a history, and it's kind of central to this area. This is the roadscape of it. The bridge crosses the River Boyle, which connects Lough Key to the River Shannon in Drumharlow Lake near Carrick-on-Shannon. It was built under a famine relief scheme between 1845 and 1848. And if we just move on to the next slide, please, Stephen. It's a triple arch bridge, but it's not the first bridge that was on this site. There were at least 2 other bridges here. And we know that because the Annals of the Four Masters tell us that in 1595, Red Hugh O'Donnell marched his troops across the bridge at Knockvicker on his way southwards to Rathcrohan. O'Sullivan Beara also crossed that bridge in 1603 on his way to his journey's end, O'Rourke's Castle in Leitrim. If you just move on to the next one, please, Stephen. This is a stone from the old bridge that was incorporated in the current bridge. This stone has an inscription on it that's quite illegible now, but Isaac Weld, when he did a statistical survey of County Roscommon, he was able to read it, and it reads, built in 1727 at the expense of the county by John French, Edward Drury, Owen Lloyd, Charles Malloy, and James Seeley. So that stone is incorporated in the present bridge. It's on the Knockvicker end of the bridge. Can we move on to the next one, please? Now, this is the famous pillbox. The strategic importance of the bridge, with its road links to Northern Ireland, was recognised by the Defence Forces in World War II. And this pillbox was erected just to the south of the bridge to cover an attack across it from the northern side. Now, it's kind of overgrown and it's not so easy to get to it, but it is possible. I was able to get to it through a man who lives just beside the bridge, let me go up through his lawn to photograph it on Friday. Can we move on, please, Stephen? The Irish name for Knockvicker is Canuckan Vicoira, the hill of the vicar. And that has to do with the medieval episcopal site in Kiltasheen, upstream from the bridge, known as the Bishop's Seat. This site was excavated by these students under the direction of Tom Finan, Professor Tom Finan from St. Louis University in America, and Chris Reid of the IT in Sligo in the early 2000s, around 2002 it started. The remains of a 13th century hall house, a cemetery, a field system were found, and evidence that there was a richly decorated Romanesque stone church somewhere on the site. And there's evidence that it was actually a much older site. Can we go on just to the next one, please, Stephen? This is one of the many skeletons that were found on the site. And one of the unusual things, and probably Stephen will know more about this than I do, is that a lot of these skeletons were found with the stone stuck in their mouth. And that has special significance, I think. Something to do with the soul not being allowed to leave the body or something like that. Stephen probably knows more about that. Can we go on to the next one, Stephen, please? The site is privately owned by the family that living in this beautiful house, Riversdale House, which I think Stephen showed us one of the first nights as well. Maureen OSullivan, the actress, lived for a short time here when her father was away on tour of duty with the British Army. And this was the home at the time of her maternal grandfather, Dr. Fraser. Just the next one, please, Stephen. I continued up by the river on one side and past Riversdale House and Farm on the other, and on to Clarendon Lock. And this here is the fish weir, which is on the Down survey map of 1655 to 1656. It's a really beautiful spot and very, very peaceful, and looked particularly well that day because it was such a fine and lovely day. And I think the last slide, Stephen, is, if you just go on to the next one, is of Clarendon Lock itself. And the ecclesiastical site is just to the right of that lock gate. So that's that.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, May.